All right, we're going to talk about marketing. I apologize for the delay. I've had some entrepreneurial distractions this week. Just a lot of stuff going on. If you listen to the news or read stories in the paper or look on Facebook, you've probably seen or go out anywhere the lack of employees, and we're definitely experiencing that here at my business as well. Just a lot of indecision about if they want to work or how much they want to work, and makes it really tough to run a business. So we've been on a little bit of a tough ride this week. Plus, after 2 years of not having any COVID incidents, we are on our second person not getting it here on quarantine, and so that makes it tricky too when you're already understaffed. So I apologize for the lateness of this. I will not let this impact your grade or your timing. So we'll go through this guerrilla marketing. If for some reason this being posted today makes it not possible for you to finish on Friday, it's no big deal. Somebody asked me about the group project. We'll figure that out as we go. I haven't done an 8-week class for the 310 in a long time. So it just feels like we have to smash so much stuff in. So I know that is hard, but we'll make it work. I just want you to learn about the topics and the subjects and not ruin your GPA or go crazy. I do expect you to work hard at it, though. I know that, an 8-week class is a tough undertaking, but we got to get the whole semester's worth in. So let's talk about marketing. I'm going to make this quick. Although I love marketing, and it probably won't be really that quick. We're just going to focus on the guerrilla marketing part. When it comes down to what you're going to be able to do as a startup small business, this is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to figure out who your target market is very, very, very specifically. We'll talk about how to do that. And then we're going to have to find creative ways that don't cost a ton of money to connect with that target market. So, not easy. Takes time and effort, and it's much easier to have tons of money in your budget and to just shoot a bunch of marketing out there and haphazardly hit the people that are interested in your business. But if you're not a big business, then you got to figure out who they are. You can't just shoot out so much marketing that you'll eventually hit the people who are interested. You have to know who's interested or who's going to be ideal first, and then send out something very specific and meaningful to them. Makes it harder. Have to use your time when you don't have the dollars. And time is probably at a premium if you're an entrepreneur as well. So getting good at this, getting comfortable with this, getting familiar with this will really help you out in the long run. So this is where we're trying to win and retain loyal customers. Big part of a business plan, whether you're going to put together that actual large document or you're just going to go through the process so you can get your business open, is a financial plan and a marketing plan. If we don't know how we're going to execute all these things we put together up to this point, right? We've done this research, we have this product or service, and now we got to figure out how we can do that financially and how we can get clients in that are going to, make those sales and move us forward. So very important part of getting a business open, not something to overlook. Hopefully if you spent a good amount of time on your last assignment where you were supposed to do some research, industry market research, then you probably have an idea and have some helpful background information on how you could do this. So guerrilla marketing strategies, what makes these different from just busting out a regular marketing plan or whatever. These are more unconventional, low cost, creative. Smaller companies are needing to get a bigger return for their investment because they don't have that much to invest, and especially if you're going to be competing against larger companies. They don't require lots of money. They just need creativity. Why am I not using traditional methods? Because they're expensive. If I want to get a billboard at Rockin' Central here in Wichita, that is the most expensive billboard, at least at the last time I checked. We're talking like $2,500, $3,000 a week to get that that billboard. Probably not in your budget. If I'm doing TV advertising, if I'm doing any of that traditional type of print advertising, even if I'm just spending money anymore on like Google AdWords and things like that, I mean, we're talking hundreds or thousands of dollars a month. And so probably not going to be able to, just send that fire hose out there and just shoot your message everywhere. You're going to want to gain traction in with people that really are going to love you, and then they're going to help push you forward, right? So we can't afford, and probably won't be effective, traditional methods until you start gaining a following. So a guerrilla marketing plan. This is what we're going to work on for our group project as well. Not these specific 4 things, but some of them. So first, pinpoint your target market. I'm going to pause. Okay. I'm back. I'm not sure where I left off. This is me trying to do it while I'm at work and bringing back old employees that I need to cover appointments. Anyway, what a mess. So we're pinpointing our target market. We're going to talk about that in specific. We're going to determine their needs and wants through market research. Hopefully you've gotten some of that done. If you worked hard on that research project, you went out there and you found out some things about the industry, you found out some things about your customers, and we can do more of that now. Specifically, I just went to a dinner meeting with Jessie, that owns Paint the Town, and she always talks about one of the best things she did in terms of customer research when she was getting ready to open was to look at reviews of her competitors, even in other areas, and see what it was that people weren't getting from them and how maybe she could provide it. So things to think about. Number 3, that's when you start turning that into what kind of advantage am I going to use, and then how does that work with my marketing strategy to really give me the competitive edge. And then, putting together that mix that meets their needs and wants so that you're finding those people, you're giving them the right message, you're bringing them in. So first we're going to pinpoint our target market. This is kind of our game plan here, right? So it needs to be specific. Everybody that put in their target, how many people did I give you feedback that said not specific enough target market? It isn't all, all people looking for a dining room table. It's people looking for an expensive dining room table. It's people that are, if I just sold dining room tables, right? That seems straightforward enough. It's just one piece of furniture. Like that should be specific enough, but maybe it's not. A type of person that wants, an Italian carved wood with glass top table, that costs whatever it costs. Price doesn't matter, is not the same person. It's not the same buying experience. It's not the same inventory as, somebody my age with kids at home that just wants something, durable and maybe looks kind of nice, but I don't want to spend that money on it because I know my kids are going to ruin it. It needs to be bigger or smaller or fit into a different setup. So different target market, different buying experience. I don't want to go in and have this luxurious experience. I don't even want to have to go in, quite frankly. I'm going to buy something on wafer. I'm going to have it delivered, and I'm going to slap it in the dining room or the kitchen. Maybe different than a college student that's like, hey, I just want to pick something at Walmart. I'm going to head up to IKEA. I'm going to get something inexpensive. Maybe that's kind of cool, or that's not. I don't even care. I'm going to throw it away after the semester's over. Durability doesn't matter to me. I want something small. I want something, and I don't want any shopping experience, really. I just want to go in. I don't need to talk with anybody. I'm going to throw it in a cart. I'm going to throw it in the back of my car, and I'm going to bring it home. Totally different shopping experience, product line, all kinds of things, that they're looking for that's different. So your target market should be very specific. And then you can start building that marketing strategy based on that very clear target customer. that's going to permeate the entire business. I mentioned the shopping experience. So not only the merchandise sold, like now I want to carry these high-end pieces, or I'm going to have, customizable things. If you go to a speaking of furniture stores, sometimes, you look at things and it has like 10 fabrics you can order it in, right? Or you can just get, something that is on the floor. That's going to be a total, something that's already in stock. So something totally different. The music, the layout, the decor, the other expectations of features, of types of service, of levels of service, of add-ons in terms of delivery and curbside and installation and whatever else might go with it. All of those things make a difference. Color schemes, all kinds of things. Maybe how the name of your business at that point. All are going to be based on who your target customer is. So you really need to understand that, because it's not just, what kind of specials should I run? It's everything. With the clear image of this target market, now you can really hit a home run with a certain type of person, with a certain type of customer. When you're trying to be everything to everyone, then you're not really appealing to anyone. So I always think about, if I want to be top of mind to certain types of people, right? I want them to, my target market, when they think about eating out, I want them to think of me first. Like, hey, I'm hungry, I'm going to go out to eat, I'm going to think of this first, right? Whoever my target market is, if I'm looking for clothes, if I'm Abercrombie and Fitch, I don't want a 40-year-old to be like, I'm going to go to Abercrombie, right? That's not the right target market. And if I'm busting around and they're trying to get some clothes, and they're trying, and they're trying to sell to like 16-year-olds, not a good match, right? Gonna really, like, it for sure makes it a lot less cool if I'm busting in there getting some stuff too, right? Hot Topic, same thing. I don't want, I want somebody that's a little more alternative, that's like into my stuff. And I don't want normal, I don't want my grandma in there checking some stuff out too. It's not, it makes it less appealing if she's also wearing, those t-shirts or boots or whatever I picked up and has that decal on her computer or whatever. Same thing with a Lexus dealership, right? If I'm out there shopping for a Lexus, I probably expect a certain level of customer service and more of a high-end buying experience versus, and I don't want people in there that are trying to buy a $2,000 used car either, right? I don't know if anybody loves Herbie like I do, but it makes me think of, when they go in and he tries to buy that used car and he ends up buying Herbie, right? He doesn't have the money and the prestige, and so he's going to put off the people that want to buy that high-end brand new car. So really get down to who they are, and know that if you're appealing to everyone, you're probably not. You're probably turning off some people that could be even better customers. So try to appeal to find the best target market to start with. Let's keep talking. The greatest marketing mistake is failing to define clearly the target market you serve. So again, get down to this. Do not tell me you're going to sell to everyone that has a car. I think I saw that one. Or everyone that, likes barbecue or whatever. What about you? Are you high-end barbecue? Are you, back alley barbecue? Are you concentrating on people that love, burn-ins or beef or the sides or whatever? I mean, there's something about your barbecue that's different, right? You want families to come there. You want people to come there on lunch. You want people to cater from you. I mean, that makes a difference in how you're going to, who you want to appeal to. So focus on groups of customers that are likely to buy your products and services, right? Don't spend a bunch of time trying to convince people, So when we opened 13 years ago, I run an ad in the newspaper because it was going out of fashion, but not completely dead back then. And it's like a half-off coupon. So who do you think is reading the newspaper and cutting out half-off coupons? Women of a certain age. And so they come in, they sit down, they don't like my prices, they don't like my seating, they don't really like anything about what I'm doing. And so, I am not targeting the right people, and I am wasting time trying to convince them that, or change things so that they'll like it, right? I should be attracting customers that love what I do, that they want to come back, they plan to come back, they're going to bring their friends back with them, they're going to spend more next time, they're not going to just get a pedicure, they're going to get a manicure, they're going to get a massage, they're going to buy some product, they're going to come in and spend money and bring their friends and family because they love it so much. So don't waste, because this is going to be time intensive, right? Guerrilla marketing is going to take more time and energy than just writing a $10,000 check and doing traditional advertising. And so you don't want to waste time on people that aren't going to buy your stuff to begin with, right? You don't have the resources of your competitors, so you have to find this niche, these people that love what you do, that you can make exceptionally happy, that are going to give you traction and maybe bring even more people in. So, what's the big deal? Why are we, it seems like what you're telling me everybody can do, right? So how does this really give me a leg up? Because it is hard work, it's easier to just not do the research, to just be like, I like it, so everybody should like it, or whatever. It's easier to not narrow down and really define who's going to come in. It's easier just to try to get whoever will come in to come in, right? You're wasting time and resource, or if people out there that are not doing this, they're wasting their time, their resources. When we're using this laser approach, we're attracting the right customers the first time. We're not seeing people that are never going to come back. We're not selling to people that are going to be dissatisfied, that are going to return it, that are going to be really hard to handle. And it's working better for us as well as the customer. So now that we've narrowed down our customer, our target market rate, now we're going to get a real understanding of them and their needs, right? What is everything? I need to know everything about them. Like, what do they like to do in their free time? What are their favorite charities? Do they have kids, not kids? Do they work? Do they not work? Are they married? Where do they live? How much do they make? Where do they like to eat? You get a as close of a picture as you can. I know that a lot of my customers are working women. Many of them have older children or don't have children. They have disposable income. They may or may not be married. They generally are in engineering or teaching field. I'm not really getting specific. They like to do race or team and training. They like to do, they're into charitable types of projects or school related things. There's when you know that stuff, then hey, I should sponsor this, or I should, when every single volunteer organization comes to ask you for money, right, then you're like, okay, well, I know this is going to make a difference, but also it's going to be visible to my target market, my ideal customer. And so, yes, I would love to do this. Instead of giving $20 to every organization that asks, I can give $500 to this organization, or I can have a booth, or I can give away, t-shirts or some kind of, trinket with my name on it that's going to, be beneficial for that, whatever that event or organization is doing, but also it's going to get my name in front of potential customers that I know are good customers that appreciate what I'm doing. So it's really helping when you know as much about your customers as you can. Again, so let's say I'm a used clothing store, right? Who can I sell to? I get my chalkboard out right now. I'm writing down. I can sell to, traditionally I can sell to moms of kids, right? Or I could sell to teenagers, Plato's Closet, a specific high-end high fashion type of things. Workwear, there used to be a place that was used clothing store, just had like work type of like dresses and jackets and things like that. Men or women's clothes, I can sell sporting goods, like play against sports. There are a lot of things I can do there. So just saying I'm going to have a used clothing store, maybe not specific enough, right? Even in what you're trying to do. And it'll make a difference who your target market is to match that up with what exactly you're doing, right? Who can I sell to? Narrow it down so that each group can be reached with one marketing message. And there can be some overlap, right? So I'm going to sell to moms of or grandmas of kids in elementary school. That could also be maybe a dad or, something like that. Or it could be a school that might want it or whatever. So there can be some overlap. How would you market to one group versus the other, right? There would be differences. If I'm going to market to, a working mom versus, a high schooler that's looking for, name brand clothing, different approach probably, right? If I'm going to focus on like a used sporting goods, like sports clothing or uniforms or something like that, maybe that's, I'm going to look for athletes or something like that, figure out again who, and this was something that we looked at in our research project, who is the actual decision maker, right? If I'm selling used kids clothing, it's not the kids, it's usually the mom or the dad, a parent is the purchaser. So they're really while they're not the end user, they're probably the decision maker. And so thinking about how to set that up to make it easiest for them to shop. I mean, I think about a used clothing store to go into and I have a little kids play area, right? Put your kids over here. You can look longer. You can buy more because I'm not trying to juggle, entertaining my kids or whatever. So understanding how they shop, who they are, what, who they might have with them, all that stuff makes a difference. And then how you can reach them with that message, right? Now I know what is going to kind of be my advantage, my competitive edge. How do I convey that now to that customer that I really understand, what they're doing and how they do it. Now I'm getting into market research, right? So we talked about this demographics, not only how old they are and how much they make, but psychographics, again, what is their life like? And so, I could say a 65-year-old man, high income man that lives in East Wichita. But those could be totally different people when we get into psychographics. One could be retired, RVing around the country with his wife. The other one can be divorced, remarried to 20-something with 2 toddlers at home. I mean, the stuff they're doing and buying is totally different, right? Their life is totally different. So just defining by demographics is not going to be detailed enough. Get some psychographics in there. What do they do? How do they do it? What's their life like? This market research is going to give you that foundation for your marketing plan. So don't assume a market exists for your company's product or service. Prove it. I have a customer that comes here that is trying to provide some end-of-life services, support services for people with parents that are, with dementia and things like that. How do you support your aging parents? She's wrote a book, things like that. But she's trying to figure out if there's a market there, and she's been trying to figure that out for quite a while. And I thought it was interesting when we listened to our podcast this week. When he talks about how he handed out his a pre-copy of his book and made some notes on sections he thought would interest them, and I thought, hey, that could work for her. At this point, she's been kind of supporting her speaking and services side with selling books, but maybe she needs to use the books as the entryway for selling the more, the services and things like that. So assuming there's a market there can be a real issue. I mean, make sure, prove it. It doesn't have to be consuming or complex. We can do online research, trend tracking, all those types of things to figure out, what might be going on and what might interest our customers. Now that we've narrowed down who our customers are, it's going to be a lot easier to get some feedback and information about, what might work for them. So how do I come up with this? I've really narrowed down like who my who I want to sell to. Now, how do I, figure out what this guerrilla marketing is going to be like? So, 1 second, I'm going to pause. Come on in. Come in. Yeah. All right, I'm back again. Sorry to keep cutting this up. So tracking trends, how am I going to come up with these guerrilla marketing ideas to specifically attract, who I want to come in? Well, there's lots of different ways, right? Sometimes we'll do marketing that goes along with maybe a new movie. I think it's Sing 2 that comes out around Christmas time, and one of our nail polish suppliers is doing a collection that's themed Sing 2, and I know that our best target market is, moms and kids, right? So that's a great thing to kind of play off of, right? TV shows, top movies, talk to your customers, see what it is they're into, talk to people around you. This is where we get back to kind of that brainstorming thing or that idea generation thing, right? We want to be creative, so we're getting back into those things. We're talking to people, we're listening to kids. I mean, this is all sounding kind of familiar, right? In terms of how we're going to come up with those creative ideas to bring people in. Make sure you understand your unique selling proposition. This is our key benefits. I think I talked about this in a previous thing. It's not, what our features are, but what the benefits are. What's in it for me. Customers want to know why they should come, what's in it for them, what the benefit is for them, why they should come use your product or use your service instead of what they're already using or something else. They can be intangible, psychological, as well as tangible. Make sure you're really clear on what sets you apart. Creative ways to identify your business through branding. So I think this next slide, let's see if it's what I think it is. Yeah, is so interesting. So this one, I should get this out and show this to my husband. That's horrible. I won't see that. But I did, probably. Anyway. So some things are just antes, right? It just gets you in the game. If you're a poker player, you know what I'm talking about. So, right, I have to have this just to be, to be relevant. So my husband always wants to advertise, well, I do family and kid counseling. Right. Okay. So do 100 other people. What do you do that's different, right? What is it? What am I going to put out there? That just gets you in the game, right? Now I'm looking for drivers. They're important to the customer and they're differentiated from the competitor. So what about what you do is not only, meeting the expectation, but better, different. Those attributes you need to focus on to build your brand, to make you relevant, to make you top of mind when a customer's thinking about, hey, I need to get, therapy, I need to get a pedicure, I need to buy, this new thing or go to this new place. Neutrals, a lot of times people try to build on that. But customers, that's great, but I'm not willing to pay for it. A lot of times I think businesses have that trouble there. Like, that sounds cool, but there's no value there. And then fool's gold, something that's unique, but isn't what you should be building your brand on. So things to think about, making sure you're not just trying to build on an ante, which is just getting you in the game, but you're figuring out what your drivers are. What's going to make somebody come to you versus somebody else. And if we did a good job of our competitor research, we're going to know some of these things, right? We're going to understand who our main competitors are. We're going to look at them. We're going to figure out what we're doing different. We're going to figure out if we have the same target market and how we're going to draw them. You're finding your niche, you're filling it. One of the things I talked about is entertaining, something like you do at Cabela's or something like that. How are you going to make yourself unique? Connect with your customers on an emotional level, build trust, define your USP, what makes you different. That's one great thing about social media and things like that, is that it allows you to create a personality for your brand in a way that would have been much more difficult with traditional advertising, used previously. Embrace social marketing. Most people are using Facebook. Instagram isn't on here because it's old. This is from 2014. But I think it's good to think about this. What tools are going to use, what will make sense for you. If I'm selling B2B, LinkedIn is going to be moved up there, right? If I'm using selling something that is very, maybe sound or needs a lot of explanation or something like that, maybe YouTube is going to be something that's more valuable to me. So these could change, but I would Facebook and Instagram obviously are your big players now. And this isn't just for potential customers, but existing customers. A lot of my social media is just reminding my existing customers, right, to come in, to come back, what's going on, what's new, that kind of thing. Generate exposure for your business with this, increasing traffic and subscribers, helps with your website ranking. A lot of the business owners I know I've met on Facebook, Jesse that owns Paint the Town, we were trying to figure out how we met each other, and honestly, I think it was on social media. Talked about a few things, just found we had a lot in common in terms of, and we've been friends for 10 years now, so you can also find business partnerships. I saw somebody posting about some things they sold, asked if they were wholesaling, she's like, yeah, and it ends up being one of the things we're selling the most of this fall, so finding business partnerships, leads, overall marketing, reducing expenses, that kind of thing. That said, it can't be your only. You still have to, if you just put it out there in the universe of Facebook or Instagram or whatever and think people are just gonna start buying it and that's it. I mean, you have to still, that isn't a marketing plan. That is a recipe for disaster. I mean, how do people find out about your business? You're going to have to figure out a way to drive people to that online presence as well. And so that can't be all there is to your marketing plan. I'm just going to run some ads on Facebook. You still have to figure out a way to connect with your potential customer and create that initial traction so people will start coming in or buying and liking and moving that forward. Blogging, I mean, that could still be very beneficial for certain types of industries and businesses. I think anybody that doesn't have a Facebook or a website, I tend to not want to do business with. Maybe I'm doing some online videos. Again, a lot of that, Instagram live, things like that, where I want to, get in front of people so they put a name with a face and start creating a brand. Special events, focusing on customer satisfaction. Once you get them in, just making sure, I mean, this is part of your marketing plan. It's something that I hadn't really thought about previously. I was thinking about running ads and things like that, but part of your marketing plan needs to be, how are you going to retain those customers? And that's huge. Customer satisfaction, especially in this day and age when it's so easy to get online and give a review, positive or negative. Surveys show 79% of unhappy customers tell others about their experience. So making sure they're happy, well cared for, getting in the right customers. Again, this is a big thing about getting in the right customers. If you're getting in people that don't like what you have, then you're going to get bad reviews. And it probably doesn't have to do with maybe even what you're doing. It just has to do with it's not a good match, right? 48% of shoppers say they won't go to stores where they know others have had bad experiences. For every complaint you get, there's probably 17 other complaints that goes unspoken. So take them with a grain of salt, but also with your eyes open to what could be an issue. They're going to post their experiences online. 80% of shoppers have changed their mind about a purchase after reading negative information online. I think it'd be a big thing. It's nearly impossible to get rid of. So make your customers happy. Bring the right customers in, plan into your marketing plan how you're going to focus on customer service, especially as a small business. That's going to be your bread and butter no matter what you're doing. You're looking at your service cycle, how many touch points, who talks to who, and how can you make that more effective. Movement, all of that things, standards, how are you going to measure that performance, how are you going to resolve customer complaints, listen to customers, define superior customer service just so people know what you're looking for, especially if you're going to have employees. Training them, empowering them, hiring right. We'll get into people, but that is a huge part of good customer service and a really tricky part. Again, back to employees, treating them with respect so they treat your customers well. Viewing it as an investment, not an expense. If I'm investing in a great customer experience, that's part of my marketing budget. That's part of getting people to tell other people and to come back again. retaining existing customers. I mean, I don't know how many times I've heard people complain or go places where, discount for new first time customers. Well, how awful is that for existing customers, right? You have to land 12 to 20 new customers to offset the impact of losing one loyal customer, because loyal customers are your money makers, right? Repeat customers spend 67% more. New customers, if I go into a new place, I might buy something pretty inexpensive just to feel it out, check it out, right? See if it's good. Maybe I'll book, the cheaper service or whatever, just to see how I like. I'm not going to spend $300 at a place I've never been to. I'm not going to, maybe I go have apps at a new restaurant instead of a full meal or drinks or something like that, right? Attracting new customers costs 7 to 9 times more than just keeping your existing customers. So again, when you're building up your customer service plan, your retention plan, you make sure. That's why a lot of places use loyalty programs, retention discounts, things like that. Thinking about your customer experience. Sometimes I'll do door-to-door walkthrough where I'm like, the customer walks up to our front door. This is what they see. This is what they hear. This is what they smell. Open the door. I am going through the entire run through of the customer experience. Front desk, oh, it's a little bit hard to find, or it's, off to the side, or the lights kind of shine on my eye, or, whatever. It's hard for me to put that card in. Then I go and get my service providers. Awkward. Should I put them in the, I go through the whole thing, checking all the way to checkout, walking back out to the parking lot to their car. Oh, I wish I could move the trash can over here. I need to clean up the parking spots. I need to, every piece of it. Go through your entire customer experience and see if there are things that you can improve. Thinking about, what are we doing right? What can we do even better? What have we done wrong? What can we do in the future? Things to talk about and think about with retaining your customers. Devoted to quality, obviously better quality. And I know not everybody, if I'm starting a Dollar Tree, that maybe doesn't make any sense to me, right? But, figuring out what you're doing and making sure that they're getting what they pay for. I think that's the thing. Like if I pay $1 for something, I don't expect it to be high quality. I don't expect it to last forever. I'm probably going to throw it away tomorrow after I use it once, right? But that I'm getting value, and I think that makes a difference. Like I'm getting my money's worth, right? If it breaks before I get it home, then I'll probably be mad. If I get one use out of it, then I probably appreciate what I got it for. And so just making sure your customers are getting the value they expect. Pay attention to convenience, especially in the checkout and check-in process, the appointment making process. If you're doing something like that, make it easy for them to do business with you. Am I in the right location? My hours make sense. Pick up and delivery maybe. Maybe I offer credit or some other way to pay if I can do something like that. Membership services. How do my customers just treat each other? Making sure that everything's smooth. Like I just had one of my employees come in and say, well, I couldn't find the brush, so I couldn't ring it up, and the lady was in a hurry and she wanted to book, but she decided not to because I was taking too long. Attention to convenience, right? I knew when she went in there she was going to be in a hurry when she came out, so I would have been prepared and ready for it, right? I would have had her all ring up, would have known where stuff was. But making sure you train them to handle transactions quickly, efficiently, politely. Make sure telephone calls, all those things. It's easy to do business with you. Innovation, don't leave that at the door once you get started and you have this new innovative product. I mean, that's not the only time you're going to need to do that. You need to continue with that, right? That helps you with your marketing. Speed possibly could be something, innovation, all those things. So I've laid out a bunch of things to think about. Things that you'll want to plan into your marketing plan. First thing is first, as you work through your group project, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to define a very specific target market, including demographics and psychographics. I'm going to want to know everything about them. And then we're going to come up with a little bit of research, right? Maybe I'm going to research potential competitors or whatever that might be, and I'm going to define my competitive advantage. And then I'm going to build a marketing strategy. I won't have you do anything super crazy, but I want to know, 3 things that you would work on. One, to attract customers, one to retain customers, and then the third one is your choice. They need to be guerrilla marketing. So their definition of guerrilla, unconventional, low cost, creative. So if you just write down a loyalty plan and every single person does that, you better tell me something interesting about your loyalty plan, right? Because while a loyalty plan may be great, they can get that most places. So that might just be the ante and not, the driver. So make sure when you're putting these things together, when you're talking about your competitive advantage, make sure that it's clear. You're going to have to why that sets you apart, and then what are the three things: one to attract, one to retain, and third one is your choice. Guerrilla marketing things you're going to execute for that target market. So I will stop here. Obviously it wasn't short. I will upload this, and then I will also post something specific about what marketing things you'll need to complete for your group project. Let me know if you have any questions.